Welcome to the PBVG Gamescast. My name is Steve.
Rich.
Mo.
And we are the passionate playing video gamers. And we are back from a little hiatus, from a little break.
No, we've been here. I don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, they've been here. They recorded a lost episode at the bar. We'll see.
It's not lost. We know where it is. Just no witnesses allowed.
We'll see if we'll ever see that episode that they filmed while I was in Hawaii on my honeymoon playing Nintendo Switch on the beach. And I have proof and evidence and pictures.
There's one picture.
I have three.
Oh, he's got three
pictures where my beautiful, amazing wife played Mario Kart with me as we watched the sunset in Hawaii. She is incredible. And she played on the plane. So it does work. Out of the dock, we do use it. I fell in love with my Switch even more, even if it was possible, over the break. In today's episode, we're going to talk about the E3 press conference schedule, what our expectations are for this year's E3. We'll also talk about the Assassin's Creed leaked screenshot that might confirm the setting, which has been rumored for the last year. We'll also talk about SEGA reviving IPs. They came out with a 2020 roadmap of what they want to do for the next few years. And then we'll talk about which IPs we think they should revive. But we're going to start off with the farewell of Bioware Montreal with Mass Effect. So a report shows that the studio is now a support studio, with employees not working on Star Wars Battlefront 2 are now assisting on other Bioware games. So they're not developing, and looks like, and Mass Effect series is on hiatus. They're going to hold it off for now. They're not going to immediately go into a sequel as they did, because Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3 was back to back to back. That was a planned trilogy. And then also EA, the recent quarterly earnings announced their Bioware new IP has been delayed to the next fiscal year. So we'll be releasing after April 2018. More than likely, knowing Bioware, it will be a fall game 2018. Hopefully we'll find out more about that at E3. But Rich, what are your initial reactions to that announcement? Bioware being a support studio and Mass Effect and series put on
Montreal,
hold.
though. It's not all of Bioware, just Bioware.
Correct. Bioware Montreal, that studio.
Which they originally, they were guys that did the multiplayer for Mass Effect 3, and then they were given the reins of Andromeda, which is kind of... EA at least heard the fan outrage that game was not as good as it could have been. It was still a good game, but it was a serious misstep.
You're the only one who has finished it.
Yeah.
So you finished it. I'm only about 16 hours in. I need a new Xbox One controller. I need to invest because my right shoulder is broken. I can only use one of the three powers.
Again, I'm seeing a pattern.
My broken controllers. So being a support studio, do you think that is the right direction, or learn from Andromeda?
They didn't lay people off, so I like that. That's good for the staff because they do have talent there. The thing is everything that we were worried about when EA acquired them is kind of coming true. They got rid of the doctors, and then the project heads like Casey have left. And now we're stuck with, number one, they're getting away from RPGs with the new Dylan, whatever that's going to end up being next year, presumably, that we think it's going to be the quote-unquote Destiny killer. But that's not an RPG game.
You mean the Halo killer?
No, it sounds like what they're doing is they're trying to do Destiny. They're trying to...
Everything's always with a Halo killer for like 10 years.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
Halo killed itself.
Wow.
It's still good, but it's not the same.
That's true.
To be honest, 4 and 5 were kind of missteps in the story. And that's on 343, who are completely shepherding the whole history project for them. So, no, but it was a serious misstep, and their EA showing what they did was they acquired them to basically take away competition, not to actually use them for what they're good at. And they've shown that every time, and that happens a lot of times when the big corporations take over the smaller studios. Look at what happened with Rare. They acquired them, and they got the IP. They removed the project heads. They removed a lot of the talent, or the talent felt like this is in the right atmosphere for my creative juices to be flowing the right way. They jumped ship, and they're like, well, we can still churn out let's do Perfect Dark Zero. And everybody goes, this isn't Perfect Dark. Oh, let's do Banjo and Kazooie. Oh, this isn't working for me.
Nuts and bolts.
Yeah, and they just ruin everything that's good about it. It doesn't have to be that way, but it's what I've said before with this marketing thing. If you really believe that it's worth buying, I don't know why you buy a fixer-upper and you pay a premium price. If they were going into bankruptcy, like what happened when THQ went down, and now we're getting Darksiders 3, because someone bought them up for pennies, but kept them afloat, kept that team together, and now they're continuing their vision that they had going into that bankruptcy. That's the right way to do it. What they're doing here, where they acquire this and acquire that, Activision kind of ruined what happened with Modern Warfare, right? We've seen examples all over. BioWare is just another victim to this, and pretty soon you're going to see Dragon Age, you're going to see it fall off. It's a very niche market. Mass Effect is already kind of dead. Hopefully 5 years they decide to bring it back. I have some ideas how they could fix it without eliminating things, but they're usually going to not chase bad spending with more money. So,
and the one thing is, they did announce that the team's gonna work on patches for Andromeda, but they didn't announce any plans for any DLC.
yeah.
So, Rich, you're the one who's finished it. You've had plans of what they could do in the future.
No, they clearly, in the epilogue, and I won't give you spoilers, I'll just mention that there's at least two big, and even going into the third act, including that, there's 4 big storylines that they set up that were clearly DLC or sequel bait that now you're left hanging. Again, I'll go back to storytelling basics. It's good when you tell a story all the way through, and then after the fact you start hearing people are interested about this or that. You can put little teases, but when you flat out go, oh, this thing's happening and it's right around the corner, we'll have to wait and see if we can get over around that corner and check it out, that you're clearly not done telling the story, which means that's why everybody gets mad about on-disc DLC. It's already there. Just give it to me. Stop making me pay a premium or wait more time. So again, if you want to do that stuff, don't tease it so heavily. Surprise me, and then I go, oh, that makes sense, because they did hint that could happen. No, they clearly are like, nope, it's happening. We just don't know when. Make sure you get ready for a season pass. That was a dumb move.
And Mo, I know this one, it cuts you deep. I know you had a lot of investment in this studio. Played a lot of their games.
I mean, Dragon Age, I enjoy Dragon Age. I start to finish, and I downloaded a lot of the DLCs. I don't know. I mean, for them, it's one thing that I do agree with Rich was they didn't lay off anybody. If they're gonna, send them to different locations, kind of broaden their horizons would be great. But on the top, like, it kind of, I mean, for me, it sucks because I haven't finished any of the Mass Effect, like the original 3. I've only finished the first one, and then halfway through the second one, I'm gotta play the third, and this one I'm just gonna wait because
with all the patches and you play a perfect game.
I'm gonna wait.
It'll still be broken, just so you know.
True.
That's part. Writing is the biggest sin. I know everybody attacks the animation and stuff, and some of the combat physics, and it's a good game. Don't get me wrong, but it should be a great game with all that they know, as much as people are invested in it, as much money as they threw at it. But it became testing ground. It was research and development. Let's see if this lower tier department in this studio we acquired can make a AAA title for the same or a slightly lower budget, and we can still get the same return, and then we can just churn out 3 of those minor studios within BioWare and have the true quote-unquote BioWare focus on whatever the next thing is, that Dylan project. Yeah. That's what they thought they were going to do, is just turn it into a turnkey moneymaker. And I don't want Call of Duty when I'm thinking of Mass Effect.
Yeah, the same thing, almost like when I think about it, it's like Assassin's Creed Unity. It had terrible release, so many bugs. I ended up buying it when they went on sale, when they started patching everything up. To stick with that storyline was very hard for me.
Yeah.
That storyline was all over the fucking place.
Because they lost
on Unity.
They got rid of the main protagonist from the original trilogy.
Right. It just started going in all directions, and if it sounds kind of like Mass Effect Andromeda kind of got hit with that a little bit, but hearing you talk about it, and we've had plenty of conversations at the bar about it.
The lost episode at the bar.
Because it interests me. It does interest me. Like it's a big name, and it's just I find it shameful but I find it shameful that this is where it's leading up to. It's just.
But there's so much potential. There's so many. There's really good ideas there, but they're not executed well. That's the problem.
Yeah.
I do like most, if not all, of those characters that are in your party, but there's nothing where if you decide like, oh, I don't like PB, you don't have to talk to her. The game doesn't dramatically change if you don't talk to her. She'll still be there in the cutscene she needs to be, and she'll still be on your ship. But there's nothing where you're like, well, if I hadn't had PB and if I hadn't got her loyalty, I don't think I could have made it through that battle, or I don't think I could have unlocked that part of the story. There's a little piece of that, but nothing that's really groundbreaking. And yet, then they keep teasing you of, hey, the story you really want to play, it's right around the corner.
That will never happen.
We're never going to get to that corner.
True.
And again, don't start teasing the story. We talk about it on the wrestling stuff all the time. When you start building up a feud, and then a guy gets hurt, you got 6 months of planning, it goes away. They don't have the same thing where, an NPC is going to go down with a broken arm or something, and now he's got to be out for 8 months. So, I don't know why they did this to themselves.
Independence Day 2, actually. It comes to mind. Have you guys seen Independence Day 2? Where, I'm not going to do any spoilers, but how they ended that should have been what the second movie was.
Yeah.
Again, they had a story of what they were going to do for the third one, and the second one was pretty much a remake of the first one with 20 years, cool storyline. But then again, the story that around the corner, it's going to be cool, and then it didn't do well, and you're not going to see it. Same thing with Mass Effect Andromeda, didn't do well. We'll see what the sales are. With the NPD, what they do in April as well.
But announcing that they're not going to continue, that's going to hurt.
That says enough, I think,
Yeah.
in itself. Again, Bioware Montreal, what other games did they do? Do you know?
This is their first lead project.
This is their first
They
lead.
were always support before this. This was them getting the ball, and can you run
So this
with
wasn't the original Mass Effect, but it was a lot of the
No, it was the guys that did
employees.
multiplayer and helped out fleshing out the DLC as the primary crew was going amongst those titles. And remember, that primary crew kind of switched between Mass Effect and Dragon's Age. And then after 3 was done, they switched completely to Dragon's Age. And now they're stuck with...
Zeus is here to give some love.
Some support.
Some
no support
Mass
Some
Effect support.
Montreal support.
Yeah, some Montreal support with his elephant.
It'll make me feel better.
Yeah.
I don't feel any better.
I know, I'm going to have some tears in my Mass Effect. But it's going to give me some time. I don't have to rush with Andromeda. I can take my time through it, finish it in 2019, 2020 maybe.
Once it's all done, patched up.
I'll do the Mo strategy once it's all patched up. But
You can't patch that amount of garbage, though. Let's be honest. There's some serious problems.
But I know we mentioned it's a great thing they're not doing layoffs. But they said they're going to help Battlefront 2. I'm concerned after Battlefront 2's out that the studio is going to be closed down.
I don't think that's a step in the right direction. I think DICE already has it handled. Sure, they can... I don't know if they're just going to assist and help out, but I don't know. The way that DICE is heading games right now and the way that they're leading their team, it sounds like they got it under control. But maybe they can show them. Maybe they
just
can
needs
improve
some
them.
help. With the multiplayer, they have it under control. But to get it in this release date.
Maybe they can help them improve.
Because it's big
they're
storytelling for DICE. They could use some people that are experts at that or a little bit more experienced. But what if this is part of the transition into whatever that rumored KOTOR remake is? That might not be a remake, might be a reimagining, reboot, a continuation. What if this is... That team is doing something similar. We've got our primaries, but you're going to need to come in and do the end polish or help us out with this. But we're going to ease you in by making sure that AAA title gets done, but you get more familiarized with the IP and all that kind of stuff. I don't think that you need that with Star Wars, but maybe that's what they're thinking.
You always know.
I don't want this to be a layoff situation.
You always know how to make me hard, Rich. Just say KOTOR. I know this was their big lead game with Mass Effect Andromeda. They were struggling, and I'll give Rich credit. He's been calling it for over a year. Once another announcement, this person leaves, this person leaves, this person leaves. I don't know why I didn't think of this. I was a very short-term mind. I'm like, it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. They've written the story. They got everything out. They're just booing the patches, but that obviously failed. But I was never thinking of the long term. All these people leaving, what is it going to do for the sequel? And again, I'll give Rich credit. You called it. Like, this is going to be a fucking debacle. It's going to be a fucking mess.
And that's where I'm trying to make the best of the bad ending for Mass Effect 3. But remember, it was supposed to be a dark energy storyline was going to be the end to the trilogy. That leaked on Reddit, and then all of a sudden they had to backtrack, and they did that. I don't know if the indoctrination theory is what they were trying for, but it's the best way to explain how they turned a minus into a plus. And it does make sense that everybody else is kind of confused by it. I like that it's that nice, cut of steak that most people wouldn't think to order, but when you do, it's like life-changing. Still good steak. You enjoyed the steak, right? You're like, yeah, but it wasn't the best ever. But if you just get peppered it the right way, you're like, that's the best cut of meat I've ever experienced. That's what the indoctrination theory does to me. Is I had a steak, but it was the same one I'd get at a hotel cafe. It wasn't a big deal. No, this was
$6 steak and eggs.
This was that I went there, and this is a $500 a plate meal, and you understand why, and you're happy, and you're thankful, and you come back next week, and you brought friends. That's what indoctrination theory. That's the difference that it gave to me. So,
I think they should have let them make a larger DLC and prove to them that they can go on with the sequel. This is your test. Do a DLC, a decent sized DLC. I would say like a $30, like another side story,
like with the
Kinda
Fallout stuff,
or like Uncharted,
like a 10-hour campaign. Add 10 more hours to the story. Prove to us that you learned from your mistakes, and based off of this, we'll give you a go no go for a sequel.
Yeah.
To give them another chance to learn from your mistakes. Again, this might be their first.
Yeah, but to make that kind of DLC
investment
and a $30 purchase after a lot of people are going to think that they wasted a $60 purchase.
Which I can understand as well. A tough sell for us to buy.
Remember, you're a huge Mass Effect fan, but I think that, and Mass Effect is one of the few that you would consider DLC.
Yeah.
I think when you get to the end of this, you might be like, eh.
Okay.
And if they hit you with the trailer and the info of what it's going to be about, you might be convinced.
Especially with my backlog.
But you might easily go, $30. What's the 10 hours? I don't need to do this.
I'll get the story from Rich.
If they were honest with themselves, and if they were supposedly if they were going with what Steve was saying, and EA was legitimately honest with it and coming out, especially with E3 coming up, they could sell it as, look, we're sorry, this happened. Now give us this chance, but we'll
But that wasn't their
right. It wasn't
intention ever. Like
right, exactly.
The bad animation is basically they found this new studio that's doing the facial mapping and all that kind of stuff, and they subcontracted all those animations to them. And even when it was coming back, and the Bioware Montreal team was telling them, let us touch these character models, we can fix this up. EA said, no, they've got it under control. You're just seeing the preliminaries. If you look, because I'm passionate about this, so I've been checking these comparisons. The alpha build that is 4 years old now, when you see some of those same cutscenes, looks 10 times better than the final product. Because they did it, and then they gave the facial scanning team, basically they told them, here's the poses to put them in and all that kind of stuff, now do your magic, and it looks like garbage. Some of these things, they're neon palette swaps and everything for no fucking reason. It looks so realistic. It did look like Mass Effect 4. Like, it looked like you took 3 and then did more. Then when you see Andromeda, you're like, this looks like an expanded DLC for Mass Effect that just happens to be in another galaxy. That's what it looked like to me. And that's the problem, is why are you waiting 5 years to play that, and you're paying $60, and then even at the end, they're teasing you with a little bit of a hand job, but they don't let you finish. They just go...
Blue balls.
Exactly.
Blue balls.
But EA was using them to, let's see if this team can turn this into a turnkey operation, and let's try this new facial mapping software team, and then we can put that in all our games, and we won't have to deal with all the other shit we've been going through. It'll all be in-house, and we'll own it, and we'll subcontract that to Activision and everybody else, and we'll make another revenue stream. Stupid.
I remember when they did the EA did that, the E3 press conference, and they were doing the Madden, and they were doing the face mapping thing too with that. And I'm like, it doesn't look good. Like, just let that all go. Just make creative characters and go from there. Just stop this character. I don't know what's become with this facial mapping thing. It's like I know there's like one or two studios that actually excel in it. Like one, Team Bondi. Remember that? What happened to LA Noire? What happened to that studio? Fucking gone.
Yeah.
You know? But they excelled. It was a great fucking game. That game was amazing. I loved the storytelling from that game.
I've read about it.
It's good.
Heard
it's a good game. And the other ones the other team that I can't think of the name is the ones that are working on Detroit. That one
For Sony.
Yeah, that's
That
another
looks
favorite. But
incredible.
they know what they're doing. You know, they've that's what they've been doing since.
Was that the same
Heavy
studio
Rain.
who did Heavy Rain?
Yeah, Heavy Rain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and was it Beyond Two Souls, or I think what's the other game? I can't remember right now. But, you know, leave that to those studios where they excel in that. They, you know, now you're trying something new. I get it. You want to kind of go that direction, but if it's not working, it's just...
Well, that's our take on the Bioware Montreal and what we think about the future of the studio and what we feel should happen with the Mass Effect series moving forward. Please let us know in the comments below what you feel about Mass Effect Andromeda series on hiatus and the studio being a support for other games. So Sega recently announced their road to 2020, what their plan is for the next 3.5 years for existing franchises, new franchises, and they said they are going to spend some time reviving major IPs that they have in their catalog. So what do you think are some franchises that Sega should revive?
One off the top of my head, Altered Beast. Like,
I knew that was coming.
I was going to say that one.
it has to. It just... I mean, it has a great premise to it. It just... You can work so many ideas off of that. Sega... I don't know. I think they can hit it out of the park. I mean, it's how can they not? It was one of the landmark games for Genesis.
How would you do that in today's world? What type of Altered Beast would Mo want to see?
I don't know. I could definitely see open world on Altered Beast.
So what is Altered Beast? If someone who doesn't know, and I'm not too
Back from
familiar.
like 1980.
Okay.
Which isn't Altered Beast a part of the Sega Genesis that you got from a special someone?
Yes.
Exactly. Yes. And I have been playing it too. I have it all hooked
What?
up and everything.
What?
Yeah.
So for my groomsmen gifts, I got them a Sega Genesis with 80 games. So 80 games a part of it.
How long did you wait in line?
I walked up to the counter.
They were readily available?
Do you have 4 Sega Genesis with 80 games? Here you go. Thank you. And walked out.
How many controllers does it come with?
Comes with 2 wireless controllers.
I was going to say, how long is the wire on the
Yeah,
cord?
no wire, wireless. Comes with 80 games. I think like 35 or 40 of them are actually Sega Genesis games.
Yeah,
I think like
there's,
35
entertainment kind of
actual,
stuff on
and then
there, but
other games.
Yeah, a couple of extras, but
But on that has Altered Beast. I saw that.
yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
I know. I'm a great man and found. And it was cheaper than the fucking NES Classic as well. How does that make sense? 2 controllers.
Because they know how to do business?
I might have to come over to play that Sega Genesis. But I'm glad you have it hooked up and tried. So Altered Beast, open world. So what is it? Is it a fighting game? Is it beat 'em up?
It is a side-scrolling beat 'em up. That's originally how it was proposed, and then you go around the stages, and it has to do with a little bit of Greek mythology as well.
Ooh, I
and-
love Greek mythology.
Right, so
You speak Greek, don't you?
it's going to now.
KOTOR.
Yeah,
There we go. Now he's ready.
You know, and you beat up some enemies, and then they release these little balls of power, and you end up turning into either a bear or a wolf or
A dragon.
A dragon, and I forgot.
Yeah, so like
what
on the
the-
even number stages, you turn into the dragon, you
Yep.
stay in the upper left-hand corner, and you spam the lightning attack, and you go all the way through the...
Wasn't there a
level.
sequel? Or no?
I don't-
Am I
There-
going crazy?
No, there wasn't. I
No.
think it's on there too, isn't it?
I thought Altered Beast 1 and
They
2
might
is on
have
there.
it on there, actually.
Yeah. Way to pay attention to the gift.
No,
I
but it
got
used
you.
to, it used to be
I
the
did the
pack-in
original.
game for the original Sega
Yeah.
Genesis.
So I mean, that's what it sold for. I mean, that was you know, how can you to revive that? It would just be pretty exciting. I think they could do it, especially with the current way that Sega has been going now. Because I know that when they released this plan, when I was reading up on it, is that they were doing good with their sales, and of course, having their business partnerships, and how are they not going to do great because Persona 5 is one of their partnerships.
And it sold well. It did well.
Amazingly well, both Japan and here. So, I mean, that right there represents good Sega catching on to like business ventures, getting all these other studios in and to help them create these games that you can reimagine. It's just...
Well, and that's kind of the best part, to go to the previous segment. They make partnerships with these other studios, but they facilitate them to continue their business. They don't absorb them and then break them apart so that they're not there to compete against them.
Yeah.
They get them, and they're like, okay, guess what? Persona 6, I want you guys working on that because 5 is awesome. They don't come in with like producer notes and start doing the, oh no. You know what? You guys need to get Asian kids out of there because nobody knows, the North America doesn't want Asian kids. So let's do Person 6.
Modas.
And
80 hours Persona 5 and counting.
90 plus.
90
Almost
plus
100. I'm almost there.
Persona 5.
And still alternating games because I did buy Horizon, so I'm still going crazy. But
Son of a bitch. And Rich, what Sega games besides Altered Beast would you want?
I don't know. I was gonna say they. You know what? They were always good at doing racing and like combat fighting stuff, like Afterburner and stuff.
Okay.
They should bring in some more stuff like that.
What about Echo the Dolphin?
They could.
I mean,
It's all right.
On the Switch.
What didn't they have? Outrun?
Yeah,
Outrun.
Yeah.
That would be a great one. I know that this has been thrown around because we haven't seen one in a long time from the arcades. Was Daytona, especially talking about racing games. So
what about Crazy Taxi?
I could see that too.
That was fun. I think that was Dreamcast as well.
that
The
was
last
amazing.
Crazy
You can
Taxi.
do now with all the cell shading and everything.
Yeah.
You can do
Yeah,
Jet
it's
Set
just-
Radio.
That's one. Sega has an incredible catalog.
Yeah.
You know what IPs they want to go back. I love this one, Super Monkey Ball. I'm a huge fan of this. I want this on the Switch. Bust it
still
out on
putting
the
it out,
Switch.
aren't they?
Yeah, the last
It was
game
on
was
Wii, wasn't it?
last one was in 2014. But I want them to continue that IP because in the road to 2020, they did talk about they want to obtain new IPs, expand their existing IPs as well. But again, the one that got us more excited, revival of major IPs. They know they have that great catalog. One that I want is House of the Dead in VR.
That would be awesome.
I'm a big fan of House of the Dead. I think that will work perfectly in VR. They sort of have a House of the Dead, which is the roller coaster shooting game. I don't know why. Dawn of the Dead. I don't know why I can't even remember it though. It's one of my favorite VR games.
Oh, the Until Dawn thing.
Until Dawn.
Yeah.
God damn it. Thank you. Yeah.
I was like, where's he going
Yeah.
with this?
Dawn something. Until Dawn. Russia Blood is the there
Don't
you
say
go. Russia
Dawn
Blood.
in Russia. It's not
Yeah.
good. Right now.
But
I might give out some confidential information. I don't want to.
It's
Watch out
okay.
for that.
It's your prerogative.
Oh, okay.
You are hosting the show. So you have to switch in your purview.
I determine if it's confidential and not if it's important.
We'll have Zeus leave the room in case, and then you can talk to Mo about it. Privately. Just remember to write a memo.
Did any of you play Panzer Dragoon?
Yeah.
I did, and that is another one. There's one game that escapes me, which was on Yakuza. Space Harrier? Was that the one?
Yeah.
That would be another one, which would be good for over-the-shoulder shoot 'em up, if they do it correctly. I don't know. Sega has endless possibilities, and trying to acquire new IPs. That's saying, I mean, Sega's doing something good.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing is that they don't have to make it just for the current gen consoles. Imagine if you had something like 1942, because they used to do all those kind
I
of things.
love the
But
1950s.
That's a
mobile.
great game.
Put that on mobile.
Incredible. Oh, yeah.
If you were on break or lunch or whatever, sit on the John, and you could play like 2 levels of that and then go back to work, that'd be fucking perfect. And
I wouldn't go back to work. I would just...
No, but
just keep
and
playing.
you charge $3 to $5 for that thing, and the whole game's unlocked, and you don't need microtransactions and money hand over fist. And could you make more if you found a way to microtransaction? Yes, but you're also pushing away people. Just take what you can get. You don't have to be so damn greedy.
There's one IP that I always forget that Sega is a part of, and it's PC only, and it's their partnership with Workshop, which is Dawn of War, the Warhammer series. Now it doesn't get talked a lot because it's on PC only, but that's a great RTS game. To bring those over to consoles for the people who are whatever for some reason that they don't want to play on PC, that would be a great transition for Sega to do as well.
Yeah.
It's
hard with the controls though.
Yeah, it is.
Halo Wars is a good example of you can do it, but it's a lot of people were turned
True.
off by how it worked.
True, but I'm just saying if for some odd reason if they want to do it.
No, but nerds like us know how to make hotkeys and all that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
And I got like 6 squad setups, and now I'm shift 5 and 6.
It's the numbers,
these
man.
Two
It's the
regimens
numbers.
Over, and she's just like, I don't want to.
Yeah, Steve is like, we're.
No.
Did you update your video driver yet, Steven? I don't think so. So you can't play the latest DLC on that. No expansion for you, sir.
Yeah, I have no idea what you guys are talking about the last minute and a half. I was just nodding.
Streets of Rage.
He
Function
usually does
keys.
that when I talk.
But I
It's
did.
none.
We did have a discussion about
Streets of Rage is
Streets
on
of Rage,
the
yeah.
Sega Genesis.
So I mean that.
I think that's the one that had the sequel as well. Streets of Rage.
It had
1, 2.
three games.
Yeah.
So I mean, coming up with this stuff now is just they have these studios that sided with them. I mean, get them to work and then keep making great games because that's what Sega's been putting out for right now. They're not. It's not putting out like a crazy amount of games every year, but their span right now is like probably 2 to 3 years, and then they release a game.
Yeah.
So I can see them, venturing further into this market.
And Sonic Forces,
Yeah.
that'll be coming out again. We'll see probably more at E3.
Oh, they
What-
announced today. There's 3 characters. There's classic Sonic, new Sonic, and then you make your own.
Yeah,
And there's going to have like 9 character classes, and each one has a different like special power, but it's going to carry over whatever augmentations you make to them. So you put like a different set of gloves on them, and you give them sunglasses and stuff like that. That's all going to be in the cutscenes.
Nice.
I mean, that's how it's done. And as long as they don't charge you for like, oh well, I got to get that whole surfboard pack or whatever. That's a good idea.
Let's just hope that they polish it to
Yeah.
the T, because unpolished can lead to like terrible.
Especially for
Sonic.
Sonic.
Yeah,
No, but
terrible Sonic.
when they announced that today, they were showing a little bit more
I did-
footage.
I
It
did
wasn't
see
just
that.
that over-the-shoulder running. That's the new.
Yeah.
They were doing
Like the
side-scrolling kind of
side-scrolling,
stuff
yeah.
that had like the slightly altered isometric, so it was not quite 2D, but it was pretty much left to right movement.
Yeah.
That's what we want.
Yeah,
Makes sense to our brains.
a lot of potential. So
Next 3 years is
Yeah.
the road to 2020. What they want to do for the next 3.5 years.
I can just cheer them on. So I can.
You do love your Sega.
I do love Sega.
Yeah, I thought they were gonna say want to release a new console, new Sega console.
No,
Do you think they're ever gonna come back in the console business?
No, I don't think so. I think Sega is right now. From their report, they said that they want to release for all consoles. They're not going to exclude any single one, which is smart on their.
Are you taking notes, Nintendo? This might be your future in 5 years.
And that's smart. I mean, that gets some revenue, and nobody feels left out. And then you're say, "Hey, I can come up to Rich and be like, did you play that game?" And he'll be like, "Yeah." And we're on 2 different consoles.
Yep.
It's smart. Sega's doing smart moves right now. Keep it going. Don't even. I can't see them having the possibility of thinking of let me release a console right now. No, just stick to what's out there. They're doing good. Just keep on that road, that train.
Yeah.
Choo choo, motherfuckers.
Ride that gravy train on those games. I know the Dreamcast was their last game console. Even though it was a great console, it just didn't catch on. I know we've talked about it on previous episodes about the sad ending of Sega consoles. But again, this was a great move. Get out of the console business. Let's make games for all systems. And again, the success that they're having, stay away. And then again, they have that catalog that they built when they had those consoles.
Yeah.
They can bring those back. And it looks very bright for Sega.
It does. I had like, for some reason, I was kind of skeptical when I think it was like 2 or 3 years ago, Sega released that press news where they were saying that they were restructuring, and I could see where they're heading now.
No, we were
Like,
worried that Bandai was gonna
that it was
buy
just
them out.
gonna
Yeah.
take over every IP, but they stay strong. So good on them.
So those are the games that we would want Sega to revive from their catalog. Please let us know in the comments below what franchises you want brought back from Sega. So Assassin's Creed kept with the tradition, and they somehow always get leaked of before the game is
Somehow.
officially announced. Somehow. Always
did it
gets
on
leaked. Every
purpose.
single game is leaked. But this latest leak for this newest game, the screenshot, it looks like the setting will be in Egypt, which is what the rumor has been for the last year. In this screenshot, it shows the character in a boat, which is the same for Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag.
Yeah, you covered that. No one's going to notice that you had to perfectly enunciate.
And Rogue as well. Yeah, we had to do a
Rouge?
cut.
Assassin's Creed Rouge.
Rouge. How were the controls with the boat in Black Flag and Rogue?
Just say Assassin's Creed 4.
Oh, yeah?
I actually enjoyed the controls.
Yeah, it was good.
They were. I found no little things where I was just like, oh, I'm glitching all over the damn place or anything like that. Driving the boats were good. Or just...
And the different boats handled differently, the steering, speed, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Some of the mechanics of how you repair a boat when you're in the middle, you're fighting 3 different types of ships, and you get damaged, and so you basically take resources from one to repair yours in the middle of a big battle with 2 other ships. Doesn't make sense, but it works for the context of that fight, so...
In the screenshot on the top left shows like a mission status. It actually states follow a character to another character's name's villa. And that character's name, the villa, is named after an Egyptian queen. So that's where sort of the verification is not confirmed, but that is where it leads to.
Sorry, I have to ask, is this Egyptian queen? Would they also be called a Black Flag?
Yeah.
Sorry, it was right there.
Yeah. Again, you can probably assume what I said. Again, it was.
I assumed you were going to cut that out. I just really take that.
No. I'll keep that in. Because again, it was very awkward of how I enunciated Black
like he
Flag.
Does with Black Flag. He likes to keep it in.
Keep that in. And Mo's losing his shit.
Again, the context. Let's watch our phrasing.
What's going on right now?
Don't lose your shit. He'll help you hold it in.
Yeah, I will help you hold it in. So
Steve's nickname is Corky, right? Sorry.
Hey, I'm a married man now. You need to watch out.
What happens in Honolulu stays in Honolulu.
Yeah, what happens in Hawaii stays in Hawaii. So if it's more than likely confirmed, it's not confirmed officially, but more than likely it will be in Egypt. And I'm actually extremely excited for that. I haven't played Assassin's Creed since the original. If it is Egyptian, I'm actually might be going in on this Assassin's Creed. Like,
you didn't play any of the Ezio games?
I didn't play any of Assassin's Creed except the original.
I think you didn't like the first one.
I've heard I enjoyed it for a first one.
Yeah, but it was repetitive.
It was repetitive. I have nothing against the series. It just always came out in November, and there's always other games I was more invested in and wanted to play. But if Egypt and Rome are my 2 favorite historical civilizations. Mm-hmm. For some reason, since 7th grade, I've been fascinated with that history.
And you didn't play the Ezio trilogy? Because in there you go after the Pope and his family, the Borgias, right? I
did. I was aware. But Egypt, it might put me over the edge. Again, there's always games that come out in November. So are you guys excited? Because I know you guys have been to Assassin's Creed. Are you excited to go have a trip through Egypt?
It's a day one for me. I mean, immediately. It's been some time since we've had
2 years. This is the only time because the Assassin's Creed series has always been every year. But last year they had the movie to fill in, which I almost watched on the plane to Hawaii. I almost got it to watch it.
Sorry,
almost.
You that bored?
My Nintendo Switch ran out of power.
Wow.
I only got 3 hours. It's a 6-hour flight. It died in 3 hours.
With all the improvements that they've been paying attention to between to bring this up, like Watch Dogs, they made several improvements to Watch Dogs 2. They're doing the same thing with Assassin's Creed. Ever since the whole Unity mess up, I liked Syndicate. Syndicate to me was good. I enjoyed it. This next one, I can see them making another leap forward, do some progress.
2 years.
Yeah, some good, progress on the actual game. And so, I'll give it a shot.
And Rich, I've learned a lot about Assassin's Creed at the bar talking about that. Actually, I didn't need to play him. I got it from Rich. all the information, the story. So what are you excited for going trip to Egypt?
I'm like Mo. It's going to be day one. I'm into Egyptian mythology, so that's going to be fun. I don't think the boats are what people are thinking. I don't think it's going to be like Assassin's Creed 4. It looked more like it's either a transit
smaller
system
boat,
or
to get from
small,
parts,
just to get you across all the canals because that was normal. I want them to revamp some of the story because I think after Desmond died, spoilers for a game that's 10 years old, you don't have the same connection. And they've tried to put you as the Desmond character because you're playtesting. You know, it's your Xbox and you're playing an Abstergo game and it just happens to be about this.
Yeah.
It was a nice little take, but it's not moving the story forward. And that was the problem, is that Desmond was building towards that 2012, that prophecy that everybody thought the world would end. And remember, it came out near Christmas of 2012, so it made sense that they were going there. And then Desmond dies, and you're like, okay, prophecy averted, fulfilled, however they want to do that. And then they've kind of shifted their view away. Although some of those sub-characters are still there. I need you to move forward the present day and the past tense stuff, because if you're not going to, then you can drop one or the other. And obviously it's not going to be the present day stuff. And that's always been the problem. That's the problem with the movie, is that they focus on one and not the other. They don't really explain it to you. So they need to find a way to tell that story effectively. That's why I liked Assassin's Creed, is it was a game that was happening, a story inside of a story, but they both played into each other, especially as you finished
Inception.
Especially when you got to the Ezio thing, where Ezio was talking to Desmond through the whole process of talking to those the elder race or whatever. That was an interesting take. That was good storytelling. That was something you couldn't do in other games. That's what I want to see from them. They don't have to focus on that specific aspect of the story, but that was a good device for them to tell a different take on that kind of story. I want to see them do that. Right now it's, hey, I hate Ubisoft too. Well, then why am I buying your game every year?
Yeah.
It's nice that you turn yourself
so
into the big soulless corporation. You know, it's a funny, tongue-in-cheek reference to what many of the industry may think of them, and they're trying to, take the piss, but tell me a story. That's why I wanted to play this. That's why everybody loves Ezio, is because he's a character, has an arc. He definitely changes from the playboy that he is.
Was he from the original?
He starts in 2,
the
but he has
second
3
one.
games.
Yes,
Okay.
Yeah, and then the last of his games is where you tie up 1 and 2 and Desmond's story all together. Altair, Ezio, and Desmond kind of like join forces.
Especially Revelations. Revelations was like, wow.
And that's what I'm saying is, like, Ezio goes through some things that lets him experience what Altair had gone through. He then gives that information to Desmond, while the god-type characters that created humanity kind of were trying to manipulate Desmond, and Ezio gives him secret information in the middle of these conversations. He somehow knows that somewhere down the line, Desmond's going to live his life, or part of his life, through Ezio's eyes. So Ezio finds a way to basically talk to himself, knowing that there's going to be a time when Desmond can see what I'm saying to myself. And he gives Desmond a message that way. So
Crazy.
yeah, that's a story
It's
you
a
can't
great
do
story.
in other ways.
Yeah.
It was a fun way to play with their own mythology. That's why I think it's inventive. I like those differences of technique. That's where artistry comes in, as opposed to doing the same 7 story types. Boy finds girl, boy loses girl, boy wins girl back. You can alter that for who those
Legend of
characters are.
Zelda.
It's
Almost
the
the
same thing,
same.
yeah.
Thing.
When
They
you-
just
but it's
change
how,
a
but
little
it's-
things here and
but
there.
it's when you make those little alterations, like the fact that we get so anxious about, well, there's like 3 Zelda timelines, and here's how they all connect, and then this game connects to that one, but it's a reference to this, and all that only happens if you use that flute. And
Ganon wins here, Ganon loses here in the 64
The
version.
one
but
thing
that
It's
was
all split up.
interesting. That's putting that different coat of paint on it and made it a little bit more in depth. That's what we want.
And even with the new Assassin's Creeds that's been out there, I'm not too sure about Unity, but I know that Black Flag and Syndicate both mentioned Desmond.
Yeah.
They both have
Black Flag? That game?
Yeah.
Okay. Just want to confirm.
Yes.
Black Flag.
They do.
AC4. That's what I'm going to call it.
Yeah, they do mention the character and what he did and what his
No, because
findings
Sean and
are.
Rebecca are still around.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I would like to see a new lead character come into play and kind of just keep it going. I mean, there's so much to be revealed, and I know E3 is going to be awesome for us now because I mean that's a game that we look forward to, but.
And a game that hasn't been on my horizon for almost 10 years since the first one. Again, I have nothing against the series. They've all looked great. They've all had great reviews. They sell well.
But nothing stood out where it was.
Just nothing stood out, but
play.
Egyptian mythology, again, I'm with you. I've always been fascinated with it. I want to climb some pyramids, fucking jump off it, assassinate someone, go off the Sphinx, cut its nose off. We'll see. But, hey, who knows?
That's not funny. That was way too funny for you to pull that one off.
Oh.
I'm the pun guy.
Really? Yeah.
Who knows?
Pull that out of his ass. Huh?
Who knows?
Who knows?
So, but
That joke blew.
Yeah.
God bless you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. My child.
Peace be with you. I'm with you.
Yeah, I'm married now. I need it.
Blessed.
I love you, baby.
It's weird your voice hasn't changed considering your balls are firmly in her purse now.
Yeah, they were in a massive jar.
Yeah, they were on the shelf before.
Yeah.
Now she carries them around.
Carries them around.
Where are we going?
She pulls them out and she's like, "You guys like? You want something in 1979?"
It's good. It tastes delicious.
Assassin's Creed Harney period.
And I know. Ooh. It's a great transition. I'm going to talk about the time periods Assassin's Creed has been in. So they've been through the Third Crusade, the Renaissance, Colonial Era, French Revolution, and Victorian Era for the 5 main periods in the console versions. I know with the handhelds, they went to China, India, and Russia, I believe. There might be something that I missed. So now they're looking for Egyptian. What time period do you think would be next? They're running out of time periods. What time period would draw you in after this next game?
I kind of, with them doing the Egyptian theme, if it goes that route, I would, and excuse me if this is jumping too far ahead, I would like to see them present day.
Well, they're kind of doing that, but they haven't given us control.
Right, exactly, like control towards
It's called Watch Dogs.
present day. Which is
They don't even
no. We have talked about that too. Which
Yeah, it's called Watch Dogs. It's the present day.
That's we have
SEC is part of the Brotherhood. So.
And that is a discussion that is more than
Just saying.
Yeah.
So you'd want to, in the present day, assassinate some people.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that how you'd end the series?
I don't know where to
No.
to go. No. There's just too much that could be done with Assassin's Creed.
It goes all the way back to Adam and Eve as part of their mythology.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
And Rich, what would be your next time period?
Actually, as you were mentioning this, I started brainstorming. So I want to do Moscow 1980, the height of the Cold War.
Oh wow.
It makes sense for the Templars and the Assassin's Brotherhood. You've got the great architecture. You got a huge portion of the gaming public internationally wouldn't have ever had any kind of experience inside Russia, especially, you're climbing the outside of the Kremlin, stuff like that. You can get the political intrigue, you got the assassination missions. Makes sense you're trying to get intel. It makes sense that both of those sides would be going against it. They're manipulating the war, caused it, whatever. I think it'd be even funnier if the assassins are basically the Russians.
So it's mainly on the present day, though.
Holy
Sort of.
shit. Make that game. That guy right there.
There you go.
Make it. I want to play that shit.
Have they done one in with the Coliseum? As a Coliseum?
Yes. Yeah.
Which game is that?
I think it was actually Brotherhood. So it's the follow-up to Assassin's Creed 2. Assassin's Creed 2, and then it's
that's
Brotherhood, and then
right.
it's Revelations.
'Cause, yeah.
So with Rome and the Roman Empire?
After clearing the aqueducts, and then you end up
Yeah.
going towards the Colosseum.
Yeah.
So I remember that.
Looks like I might need to play Brotherhood then. That would be the one I want Rome, but Egyptian, I'm fucking
But
ecstatic.
that's the thing, you got to get Assassin's Creed 2, all three of those games, because they all flow in together, and it's a great story all around, and it's all that time period, and it's all in Roma.
And
So-
speaking of which, didn't they just release the full Ezio collection?
Yeah.
It's like $40 for all of it,
Yeah,
all three,
Yeah.
remastered too.
yeah.
I think
Current
it's
gen.
for Xbox. Yeah, for Xbox.
And you
One
just
and
lock the door and just play all these games. So I have the Batman Arkham to get through. I have Red Dead Redemption to get through this summer.
You're not gonna get through that.
Oh my goodness.
No, it's,
I
it's,
am-
it's a
That's
long
a good
game.
60 hours.
I still have Mass Effect to get to. I'm fucked. But no, Egypt, we are excited. Again, not confirmed yet, but more than likely will be set in Egypt. We'll find out in a few weeks at E3. That was our impressions of the screenshot of supposedly Egypt. Please let us know what you think of Assassin's Creed going through the Egypt setting. So the best part of being a video gamer is we get 2 Christmases a year. We get it in December, and we also get it in June for E3, our second Christmas, where they make all the announcements of all the new games that are coming out this fall and for the following years to come. So we are going to have each week have a segment about E3 starting this week. We're going to go through the E3 press conference schedule, what has been announced by each of the companies. Then we'll talk about what our expectations and which press conference we are most excited for. And we're going to start off with EA Play, which their press conference will be on Saturday, June 10th at 12 p.m., which is a lot different from the previous press conferences. They usually started on Monday, but now they keep coming out earlier and earlier as Bethesda went to Sunday. And now it's starting on Saturday. It's more like Black Friday, which is no longer Black Friday anymore. It's on Thursday, like Thanksgiving Day, 5 p.m. They keep coming earlier. But EA, so they actually it's going to be open to the public, get to play. So they have announced at their EA Play, they're going to have Star Wars Battlefront 2, the new Need for Speed game, Madden 18, FIFA 18, NBA Live 18, which they've been struggling with the NBA Live franchise every year to keep on coming up. So that is what they have announced, and that those games will be playable, but they will again have their press conference. Again, I've actually enjoyed their press conferences. Again, they always have a very cool Star Wars trailer that they have. Again, with the sports games, but again, it's EA. It's what you expect. But hopefully we will get their new Bioware new IP. Hopefully they will actually show. I know it's got delayed, as we discussed earlier. It did get delayed to the next fiscal year, but hopefully they should be able to show what that game is, what it's about, get us all pumped up and excited.
Yeah.
So that is the EA Play lineup. They are kicking off E3 this year on Saturday. Then on Sunday, Microsoft moved from the regular Monday schedule to Sunday, June 11th at 2 p.m. They haven't announced too much of what they're going to be talking about, but they did say Scorpio will be there. More than likely, they will have a price and launch date for the Scorpio. And probably they'll have Crackdown 3, the new Forza, they have to show off the graphics in 4K, and Sea of Thieves. More than likely. But they did recently say no Halo 6. Don't hold your breath for any Halo 6 announcements, which makes sense. It's every 3 years. They'll show it off next year. And then also on that Sunday, June 11th at 7 p.m. is the Bethesda press conference. Again, they haven't really announced anything that will be there. More than likely a Wolfenstein sequel that has been rumored. That Wolfenstein, have you guys played the New Order?
Heather has both the New Order and the
the DLC
Old Blood.
that they had, the Old Blood.
Yeah, it's impressive looking. I gotta admit that they did some polishing on that game. Which makes sense because Doom, but yeah, it's a good game. It's very linear, and they throw in some of the nostalgia feel in there for the old Wolfenstein. You can play the old Wolfenstein on there too, so they included that. So it's good. Yeah,
I really enjoyed it. But again, Bethesda, Elder Scrolls probably too early for Elder Scrolls 6. They did say that's going to be later on. More than likely, probably Fallout VR, because that will be after Microsoft. Again, with the Scorpio, and that has been rumored that they're doing a Fallout 4 VR experience. So probably have that. And they actually showed that it was playable last year. They actually had Fallout. But now have it with the Scorpio. So that's Sunday. On Monday, June 12th at 1 p.m., actually announced today, Ubisoft will have their press conference. And they did announce that they're going to have Assassin's Creed, Far Cry 5, and The Crew 2 will be there. I purchased Far Cry 4. I played that. That's the only Far Cry I played. I loved it. It was incredible. Again, open world first person shooter. And have you guys played Far Cry?
I think it was number 3 that I've
Yeah,
played.
we're on the island.
Yeah, yeah.
The 4th one's on an island, but 3 is when it really started to get big.
Yeah.
Trying
Where he
to
kidnaps
remember.
your friends and then you're...
Yeah, that's the one I played. And he's kind of like a psychopath. And he's like, oh, the thing
Yeah.
about insanity.
Michael
Yeah, Insanity.
Yeah.
That was the
That
E3.
was, yeah, that
about
was the one I
Insanity.
played, which was really good for me.
Yeah.
So.
And Mo, did you play The Crew?
No. I was thinking about getting into that game, but then I started seeing I wasn't into like dune buggies and all that stuff. Just not my thing. But
Sarah played it. I think I got it for her for one of the Christmases. She loves the racing games, and it turns me on watching her play. So any chance I get. So played The Crew a little bit. It's more of a racing simulation, which I like. I'm not really into like the realistic like Gran Turismo or Forza. I'm not really good at those racing games. I want a simulation, which The Crew was. So that is Ubisoft. Also, on that same Monday, June 12th at 6 p.m. is the Sony press conference. More than likely, they will have Destiny 2, Call of Duty World War II, because they've been attached. Call of Duty went to Sony. Destiny, the original Destiny, was attached to Sony. More than likely, the second one will be as well. More than likely, they'll have Spider-Man. That is a Sony exclusive. The movie comes out in July. They probably won't hit the July. They will probably try for a fall, maybe for a Blu-ray release when the movie's released on Blu-ray. That might be a time. Or push it to 2018. We'll see. Days Gone and Uncharted Lost Legacy are more than likely. I hope, though, that they have something on VR. I know Farpoint VR came out today on Tuesday, May 16th. So hopefully they have a next batch of games that they've been working on for VR. Hold my breath for Star Wars X-Wing VR. And then on Monday, Mo has been waiting for this. Nintendo announced their E3 plans. They will have a Nintendo Spotlight Monday, June 13th at 9 a.m. What they have announced, they will do a Super Mario Odyssey or Mario Odyssey and Splatoon 2. Hopefully they have some surprises, but after the spotlight is over, immediately you will see Mo live and in action at Nintendo Treehouse Live. They will hold a Treehouse again, as they did last year, talk to developers, show off their amazing games, and I'm going to have Recording Mo watching it all day long on the Treehouse.
burn that bitch down.
They will also host tournaments for Splatoon 2 and ARMS live from the E3
Burn it down.
booth. So those are the announced games and some speculation of what games more than likely will show up at the press conferences. So based off that, the schedule changed now starting on Saturday. Usually the press conferences was Monday, Tuesday, but Monday was jam-packed. Usually had 4 of them. Always started with Microsoft, EA, Ubisoft, and Sony on Monday, and Nintendo Tuesday morning. Bethesda joined in a few years ago, which they did, which they should have, with their big announcements with Fallout 4, Dishonored 2. Hopefully they have because they're doing a press conference again, hopefully they have a big game. Again, I don't think Wolfenstein is enough to really hold a press conference around, but they might have a big surprise. They've always had a surprise, as in they show a game and it comes out that fall. Same with Fallout, Dishonored, they show that big game, comes out that fall. So with those game lineups, press conference schedules, what are your expectations for E3 this year, Rich?
What do you mean? What are my expectations? Like,
What-
what am I looking forward to?
Yeah, what are you expecting from E3? What do you think would be the big theme of the entire
A
show?
lot of that is sequels. I'm not hearing a lot of new titles. And the one that I'm most looking forward to, other than probably Battlefront, because I'm such a Star Wars nerd, is I want Red Dead Redemption 2. I want to see some footage from that. And now would be the time, because we're assuming this holiday it's going to be released. So
Assuming, yeah.
Yeah.
So they did announce
Assumptions.
that it was, but Rockstar has been known to delay
Yeah.
games. But they've earned the right to do that
They
with
could do whatever the fuck they want.
how high quality games and how, again, their new games coming out, and GTA 5 is still all in the top 5
Yeah.
list. Again, they did a re-release Xbox One and PS4, and it sells. I think it's the number one of the top selling games ever.
well, because online's still making all that money. So
Yeah. So a lot of sequels, again, like movies that's how it's been usually all the sequels and known brands. People are afraid of new IPs that usually show a few of them.
It is, but I want to see them, build up a Guardians of the Galaxy, and then 5 years from now we're talking about the third movie kind of thing,
And Mo.
I don't know. For Bethesda, I feel like Arcane Studios might have something interesting for us. Just because they finished Dishonored, so I can see them probably they're working on the new IP. Maybe they I think they wanna. They've done great with Dishonored 2, and I think it's time for them to try something else. Maybe because they did they do Prey? I don't think they did Prey, did they? I can't remember right now.
Which was just released a few weeks ago.
I'm not too sure who did Prey. I believe it was Arcane Studio. I may be wrong, so don't quote me on that. But I could see them doing something, great. I wouldn't mind seeing another Wolfenstein, see where that goes. As far as anything big surprises, I want to see what Microsoft has in store. I want to see Scorpio bring out something interesting for me. Like I said, I'll jump on once.
No, we need to see that they are back in the market as opposed to just skirting the edges like they have for the last 2 years.
Yeah, because right now, they're keeping it kind of hush-lip, but Sea of Thieves is not going to sell it for me.
No, yeah. Crackdown 3, I know supposedly it's amazing. I'm not. I don't care how it looks. I'm not a Crackdown. I won't.
I'm a Crackdown guy.
I think it's.
I won't.
I've played 2 and I've had fun, but it's not something I would.
No, and 2 was a letdown after 1.
Yeah.
1 was spot on what they needed to do.
So my expectations were to start again. That was a quick roundup of the press conference schedule, what they have planned. So EA, my expectations, they need to sell Battlefront 2 hard.
Yeah.
Again, that burned some people on the first one, and I'm partially in because it has that campaign, but they need to show more of that campaign and see, is that worth $60? Because I'm not going to play much of the multiplayer. Is the campaign just a shoe-in? Here it is, a 3-hour campaign. Here you go. That's what you guys asked for. No, I want a legit single-player campaign.
An 8 to 10 like Call of Duty, right?
Exactly. 8 to 10 hours of Battlefront, not some side thought just to get them excited. Oh, we heard you. No. So they need to sell that. So that's my expectations. They're going to sell that hard because they know that was a fault on the first game because it was rushed to get to the movie release, and it's only 2 years in between. That's not that a lot of time for this type of game.
Just usually be happy that DICE doesn't do facial mapping. Sorry, too soon.
Yeah. So that's my expectation. Microsoft expectation is, why buy a Scorpio? Again, you talked about Scorpio. They'll probably have that price and launch date. Again, I'm already almost in with wanting to buy Scorpio on day one, but what games are going to be released on day one? Again, Crackdown 3 is not going to do it. Sea of Thieves is not going to do it. And Forza will be a secondary game. I need a game to buy day one for Scorpio, and Forza I will get for Sarah as a set because I want to see Forza. So that'll be my excuse for her to play that racing game. I want to see it in 4K, but that's not going to be the reason why I invest $500 or $600 because I'm still going in $500. We'll make predictions at a later episode of what our E3 predictions are.
Yeah, I guess see specs. I
don't know.
I'm being salty.
My whole sell on Scorpios, I'm still pushing it, is that State of Decay is going to be for Scorpio. I can see that already, just happening because the old State of Decay for PC, when I was running on max settings, it was pretty pushing it. So I can see Scorpio taking State of Decay 2 and ramping up those, and that was a great game to me. So that's my buy. I need to see this.
More than likely, Tomb Raider will probably be at the Microsoft press conference. Again, it probably won't be exclusive by how that deal went out with the second Tomb Raider. But again, even though it's not exclusive, they can still have it at their press conference to show off. But hopefully, that's what they're selling. An hour and a half of selling why invest in the Scorpio. I'm not going to pay $500 just for a little enhanced graphics, even though I'm a fucking idiot. I probably will. But I'm talking about the mainstream if they do. I can at least admit it. But I'm a fucking dumbass. But that's going to be the expectations. They're going to sell hard of why a Scorpio. So start off first 5 minutes. This is Scorpio. Price, release, date, Now the next hour 25 of the games to sell, of what's important, and what is the strategy of Scorpio.
Yeah.
With the Xbox brand.
Exactly. That's why you were reading specs and like, do
Yeah.
you care about teraflops or do you care about games?
Yeah, the games.
Because if they give you all the specs in the world, but like I said, give me a Ferrari, but I can only drive at 80 miles an hour. Who gives a fuck if it goes to 250 if I never get a chance to open that sucker up?
Because Sea of Thieves, that's not going to push. Again, with the type of graphic
I
style,
don't
it's
know why
more
you guys are hating
gameplay.
on this game so much.
Well, I saw.
I'm not hating on it. It's just the
I-
sell.
You should, yeah.
I mean, I saw what the some of the gameplay, but I was just not convinced. I was like, this is not for me.
Yeah.
You know.
Mo is to Sea of Thieves as I am to Nintendo Switch. Like, you're out of your fucking mind.
Yeah, I just look at
Why
it.
do
I'm
you
like,
do this to
not
yourself?
for me.
We want you to
I'll get to
survive.
Nintendo
Don't hurt yourself.
later. Bethesda, again, not really know what's going to be released. Wolfenstein sequel, but again, I don't think that's enough for an hour-long press conference. I'm praying Elder Scrolls that they show a little glimpse.
I think it's too early.
Show a little glimpse
There's a
of it.
rumor that they were going to try to lead towards that. So.
Show just give me a 2-minute teaser. Don't even come out this year. They can say 2018 or whenever it's fucking done. I'm okay with that. Just give me
Summer
2 minutes.
2023.
I'll be fine with that. Just give me a little tease of Elder Scrolls. That would be my expectation. They need a big series.
Just as long as they show you the title, you'll be happy.
Just show that's an absolute. I'm fine with that. No, just show just one little glimpse, 5-second. Dude, because they did it at the EA a few years ago with the Star Wars, like a 10-second Hoth.
Yeah.
Just give me that 10 seconds of Elder Scrolls 6. Again, that's one of my favorite game series. I will be ready.
I would lose my shit if they do something like Return to Morrowind or some shit like that.
They're doing it with online.
Yeah, but fuck the online component. I fucking hate online. I hated that fucking game. I don't know why it's still fucking active. I don't know how people even got into it. I played a lot of MMOs, and that was just... I fucking hate it. We'll get into that some other time. Hated that one.
And let us know how you really feel.
Leroy Jenkins.
Sorry, it's not for that game was not for me at all.
And Ubisoft, again, thank you for announcing that today, what your plans are with your press conference. Assassin's Creed, Far Cry 5, Crew 2. I'm actually excited to see all three again, to see the actual gameplay for Egypt and see what direction they're going and the two-year difference, how they take advantage of that. Far Cry 4, I really enjoyed, and the third one I probably would have enjoyed as well. So see where they... I hope they go away from the jungle, because 3 and 4 was...
Oh, you haven't heard the rumors?
What are the rumors?
It takes place in like the Midwest, so like the Dakotas or Montana, and it's dealing with the militias.
'Cause
And
they
if you
had,
look
like,
at the logo, it's red, white, and
Little
blue.
screenshots there, yeah, of what is Montana? Was it?
Yeah, I think it's like Montana.
Something like that.
So if you look at the logo, it's white background, white lettering, but it's Far Cry is written in red border, and then the 5 is in blue. So it's red, white, and blue. Oh, kind of makes sense.
And you know, please let Aisha Tyler do it because I like eye candy.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck.
She does great.
People,
Girl
fucking-
war, dude.
People don't like her for some reason. Like there's a
Lady
lot
balls.
of yeah. Fuck that. Bring her. I like her in her high heels and nice legs. And
Lana.
Jesus.
Phrasing Lana. That's all I want.
I'm just saying
Do you watch the Ubisoft comments or you just jerk off to her?
for her.
Just watch for her.
And then I have to replay like another hour
You
just
know
so I
she's
can
in
see
Watch
it
Dogs
again.
1, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And she has a little...
She was in Syndicate as well.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
What's up, stalker? Know what?
I've played all her games.
Dude, I watched The Suit, so I got you beat.
Wow. All
And
right.
fuck all you haters who don't
Tyler,
like
getting
Tyler.
a little
Just
excited.
saying. Just saying.
To have her back. She's done it the last 3 years?
Yeah,
4
just-
Yeah, last year though, she kind of pissed people off though, really bad. The first 2 years she was taking, like they thought it was good. Last year she got it back.
Didn't they have Joel Mikhail? Or how do you say his name?
I don't fucking remember his name. I know what you're talking
He's
about.
on the soup.
Yeah.
Wait,
I don't think it was Joel McHale, was it?
no, I think he did it before. Or no. I don't know. I know he did the Video Game Awards with Jeff Keighley. And that was a fucking disaster.
didn't go well.
The first
I
one
just
that was.
want to see her. That's it.
But Ubisoft, they always have a big trailer announcement that they did for Watch Dogs 2, Ghostland, Rainbow Six Siege. So they always have a big game that they're going to announce. So again, that's an expectation. They'll always have it. Get me excited.
Well, don't they have that Rabbids and Mario crossover thing too? that they're
Yeah.
doing? So
Yeah, for the Switch. Oh, Rich thinking about the Switch. So
I
again,
do care about their IP. I wish they cared as
expectation.
much about it as I do.
that they'll come out with another big game that we never even heard of. Hopefully a new IP. Watch Dogs will probably take a little
Yeah,
back
just
burner.
burners off.
Little break. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Sony, they're in the lead. Again, this is more of a hope, but an expectation is VR support. They need to come out with a reel of all the VR support that they have to show that they're backing, they're behind this. It was launched in October. This is for 2017 and beyond for VR.
So I think that's going to depend on what Microsoft says the day before. If Microsoft doesn't address it, like out of the box, Scorpio's VR ready, and here's our headset, and here's our launch titles. If they don't have a sizzle reel, Sony doesn't have to because they own the market for consoles. And Oculus is kind of dying anyway, so.
But is this going to be hard for them to have Destiny 2 and Call of Duty in the same... They didn't have to worry about that with the first Destiny because Call of Duty was still Microsoft. So that's going to be challenging to have those both shooters and to give them enough time.
But they're different enough, especially because one of them's going to be World War II, and the other one's space, jumping around the moon, so.
No. And they have a release date, Destiny 2, September. Call of Duty is November, so they do have them spaced out.
Well, and we saw with the ad campaign, Destiny, they're trying to do a little bit more humor and character stuff, where they're playing it, Call of Duty's very, they're trying to be mature and serious and...
Do you expect a PS5 announcement?
No, I think what's going to overrule, I know that there's been speculation that they said that it's going to release in 2018 or something, I don't believe so. I think what they're going to do is the people who are thinking that they're going to release a PS5, I think they're going to have gameplay from The Last of Us 2, like a little, hey, this is what we kind of have for you. And I guarantee you that they're going to end that segment with The Last of Us 2 because that is what they just showed a little video trailer in the last E3. They're going to follow it with gameplay because they did it for The Last of Us back when they first showcased it. They just showcased the trailer, and then the next E3 came around, and they showed gameplay, and everybody was like, holy shit, this game looks fucking amazing.
Do you expect a release date announcement?
No. I can see that being a
2018?
Yeah, like a next year title.
Next fall?
But that's why I said right now they could release a little bit of gameplay, a little bit snippet of what to expect, and people will be like, okay, let them work on that. Because they did do that for The Last of Us, and the last thing that they showed for the first game was at the end of the E3 segment for Sony was The Last of Us. I could see them doing it for The Last of Us too.
I expect them to... I might save that for predictions. But God of War...
I can
released
see that
this fall
too, but
I'll fucking say it. They open with God of War. They open with God of War, and they have a release date for November.
See, I would close with that then.
yeah.
Because I think they would close with The Last of Us. Get us all excited.
See, I would open with that. I
You
would actually
open?
I would have where you can't tell who the character is, walking through, and maybe they're doing some things, and then it ends with either they turn or they look in a mirror and you're like, oh, it's Ellie.
Yeah, because they did do that for The Last of Us, but
Yeah,
they
kinda.
did it at the end.
But she was playing the guitar. Yeah.
Yeah, but for the first one, there was these what are they called? The freaking scavengers or robbers or whatever.
Yeah.
They're rummaging through like shit and just trying to pick up stuff. And all of a sudden you hear Ellie and Joel, and everybody's like, "Oh, wow, okay, cool. This is what this game is leading to." And they had the zombies and stuff that they introduced. I don't know. I could see them leaving the last two for the best for last. I can see them going like God of War and then The Last of Us 2.
Pretty much Sony should not have a problem. They have enough big guns to
I
fill
see
in that hour and a half.
I see them doing a release date for Days Gone. The
Days Gone.
Yeah, I
Yep.
can see them having a release date for this year for that game.
So they have Days Gone and God of War. It'll be solid.
Yeah, I could see them releasing
Because
that.
their exclusives last year was not very good. They had
Yeah,
the
but
Last
Days
Guardian.
Gone is more like middle of it to like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get
New
you
IP,
pumped up again.
new stuff.
When you
so.
say coming soon and nobody knows what that even means in the next year,
Yeah.
and then you go, oh,
I can see
here's
it.
this, and it's coming out in November.
I can see them throwing like maybe 1 or 2 new IPs, but I mean, I don't know. I couldn't tell you what that is. I can see Kojima coming out again and be like, "Oh, my merger with Gorilla," and everybody loses their shit again. They don't even know what the fuck that game is.
He doesn't either.
Yeah, no, he doesn't.
Even
either.
when the game's out and we've
They-
all played it, we
they're-
still don't know what the fuck it
and-
is.
fuck did I just
and
play?
He actually said in an interview himself he has no script yet. So yeah, no, that was like a week ago, I believe.
The previous ones, because
No,
that would make a lot of sense.
Because he was trying to acquire like the studio to help him. And he got Guerrilla Games on board, but he said it. I read this interview last week where he was they were asking him a series of questions. Oh, how's it coming? Death Stranding, blah blah blah. He's like, yeah, no, we're just pitching ideas, working with the graphics, the modulation of the graphics, whatever Guerrilla has in store for his open world. But I have no script. Oh, okay.
No, Kojima games are basically a strip club.
Yeah.
It looks nice, but there's no substance.
So I mean,
It's fun to look at, but
I don't know. I don't know what to expect, but I can expect him coming out and just, because it's
It'll be
Sony
another
property.
crazy trailer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
some other crazy shit.
Yeah.
Half naked man with broken babies or
With
some
a,
shit
with a
like
baby.
that.
Guillermo del Toro with like a wine bottle, it's half stuck in his face, and
Yeah.
he keeps looking through the barrel at him.
But he said it's an open world.
He
Game,
said he wants an
supposedly.
open world game, and that's why he
Yeah,
got
but there's
Guerrilla.
there's no script. How does he know it's an open world game?
Exactly my
It could
point.
be
I was just
anything.
like, all right, so where are you going with this?
It's a space simulator that takes place in the 14th century. What?
Who knows?
No, it'll make sense. Trust me.
We'll find out more in a month at E3. We'll just inch and inch a
He's
little
gonna
bit more.
show the same trailer he showed for Norman Reedus, except he has clothes on this time.
On a motorcycle.
Boom.
Yeah.
On a motorcycle.
He has a crossbow. Peers
That's all
out
you need,
nowhere.
crossbow. That's all you need.
I just want somebody in the audience to just start yelling, Carl! Carl! Carl!
Death Stranding is not the game I'm looking forward to. It's just The Last of Us 2.
We have 3 years to figure out what Death
The
Stranding
Last
is.
of Us 2.
And then the last press conference isn't a press conference. It is the Nintendo Spotlight. My expectations for Nintendo is to sell me why the fuck I got a Switch and what games am I going to play for 2018.
You already bought it. They don't need to sell you.
No, but what games am I going to play for 2018? Why the fuck did I buy this
Breath
thing?
of Fire. Or Breath of Wind, whatever it is. Zelda. You're going to play Zelda, you're going to play Mario Kart, and eventually you're going to play Mario Odyssey.
But for
Done.
2018 after that, that's 2017. The next year, that is my
We'll tell you next year,
expectation.
don't worry.
That is my
Be happy.
expectation is 2 surprises of
Okay,
games.
Surprise number 1, it's going to come out in like a neon yellow. It's exclusive. There's going to be only 100,000 units that are made. Pre-orders are available at the end of this press conference.
This is why Nintendo needed a press conference, like an actual press conference, not this.
They're
shit.
doing 2. What are you talking about? They got a Spotlight.
They have
and they got
Treehouse, dude.
What the fuck is Spotlight?
It's
What
a
the fuck
direct.
is-
So Spotlight is a direct.
How is
That's all
that
it
different than
is.
Treehouse?
Well, Treehouse is live. You bring developers and they interview and they show gameplay. Where Spotlight is a direct. It'll be 45 minutes of just footage of
Bro,
what the other directs.
you remember when in Treehouse when they showed Star Fox? That was fucking painful to watch.
Well, Star
Painful.
Fox is
I
painful.
just want
Well,
a
yeah,
bunch of
it did
shots
terrible.
of Mr. Miyamoto sitting on a couch with a guy that speaks even worse English, sitting there going, Mr. Miyamoto says, and just lying his way through, and the vast expanses, and music has always been
No,
important.
it'll be a 5-minute trailer of Link just going through the
They
woods.
could do so much.
Look
like,
at the grass. Look at the grass. See how there's no enemies populating it? But look at the grass. The grass is amazing.
Like, they just have so much potential, and they just fuck it up. They have. I'm
Before
really
the spotlights even happened,
I'm just really.
you already gave him an F?
Yes.
What the-
They've been getting a fucking F. They've been getting the fucking F for like 3 fucking years.
Can I ask, how is the Spotlight and the Treehouse combo, how is that different than a press conference? Other than how it is fed out to people. Because it's not going to be, you go through Nintendo sources to watch the video. But how is that different than
You don't
a
need to
normal
rent
press-
out a fucking stage.
But
And you
it's-
don't have to be a big environment. It's more controlled. Direct is more controlled environment, and the in a booth is more
But
controlled.
it's still a press conference just in a smaller atmosphere.
Yeah. And that's
More
all they're
intimate
doing.
setting.
No, they fucked up with.
So why are we giving it special names? This is what I'm talking
Oh,
about.
they
the
give
marketing
it. They
bullshit.
give it a spot.
Well, we don't have to buy into it. Just call
It's
it
a
a press
direct.
conference.
No, a direct.
It needs I think they need a press conference.
It is a press conference.
To me, it's bullshit.
It is, because we're sitting here pretending like it's not a press conference, and they get a special say on everything, and it's just more the same bullshit if they don't really have anything other than their key 5 titles, and half the time they're just regurgitating something from the previous console.
I just wish they could just do what Sony did last year. Like, just come out, be like, game. Okay, Fire Emblem. Great fucking RPG. Okay, game. Monster Hunter. Because Capcom gave them that fucking IP, which it belongs in PlayStation or Xbox. I'm just saying, for the fucking controls, and you left it on the fucking DS, and I'm still mad about that, but we'll talk about that.
Do you think that's a great point? Do you think Microsoft copies what Sony did last year? Because that was the first time any company has ever done what Sony did.
I can't see them do that. I think they're going to need to talk about the actual Scorpio. They need to,
Okay.
And I think that they need
it
to
would be
focus on
important.
the fact that they want to be known as the gaming system because they fucked up. And part of that is, like, today they announced that a bunch of their backwards compatible stuff, over I think 200 or 300 titles, are now discounted on the Xbox Store and stuff. And mention that all that stuff is, readily available. You don't have to emulate it. If you do the emulation on PlayStation, you could have the title on your shelf. You can't put the disc in a PlayStation 4 and play it. You have to emulate it, so you always have to be online. You always have those little stutters with the connection and all that kind of stuff. Where Xbox, if I have the game, I put it right in the drive and it'll play. I can download it.
They need to
Either way.
showcase that. If Sony was releasing a new game console, they would have to actually have a segment and talk, and not just be like, okay, here it is, here's showcase everything, and that's it, and just walk off.
And I'm not the first guy that's brought this up this week, but as soon as they cracked emulation on the 360 to play Xbox, the original Xbox games, that's just a software thing. It's not based on hardware anymore.
Right.
So why not put some of those, at least your greatest hits titles, available there? Even like a package of $20, and you get like 10 titles from the first generation. Or give that as the anniversary gift for your live subscribers as a thank you, because you're the true gaming environment, and start doing stuff like that, because they used to. And they need to go back to arcade. They need to really push all those things. And I think that's what they... Not just Scorpio, because remember, they think Scorpio is a niche market in their grander plan.
They have admitted it.
They need to go for, we're the gaming console. Sony's been too busy trying to keep their film division going. And remember Powers? It was a great show. Canceled. We were doing this. Canceled.
After season 2.
Yeah. But still, they were focused on other stuff, but they still had games. So Xbox needs to come back with, not only did we learn from our mistake, we're making it up to you. And they just flood you with, here's all your backwards compatible stuff, here's the new exclusives, here's how we're going to do this, and then for the future, the next step to the next generation, the Scorpio, boom, laid out. And then make PlayStation react. That's why I said VR is not a focus for PlayStation, because they think they've got it cornered, unless Microsoft has something where, like, Scorpio comes out, it's $500 and it comes with a headset. I don't see how that's financially possible, but if they did it, that would turn that into a horse race.
I can see them. I mean, I can see PlayStation actually talking a little bit about their VR. I don't see why not.
10 minutes.
Yeah, or I mean something. I'm sure they'll showcase something. For releasing a new gaming system, that needs time and attention. It needs that. So I don't foresee them copying Sony what they did last year. It just wouldn't work. They could do it next year, but not this year.
Because what Sony did was just game after game, like 5 games in a row. Then someone came out and talked. Because usually Microsoft developer talks for a few minutes, clip. Then talks for a few minutes, clip. Like, it was the same standard status quo of how it's been for the last 10 years of how to do a video game press conference. Everyone wants to come out, talk about what we're going to see, what they're doing, and then clip. Sony was bam, 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 bam. Like, holy fuck. Didn't even give it a chance to fucking breathe. Like, top game after top game after top game. Even though the games weren't going to be released in that year. But again, it shows Sony, this is what we're doing for the next 2 years. This is what we have. We have some badass games that you're going to love. So, we're in the segment as in, which press conference are you most excited for? Out of the 6. If you only could watch one, what are you most excited to see?
I'm sticking with Sony for right now.
Why Sony? Why are you most excited?
I just like the new IPs that they've been bringing out. It makes me excited as a gamer to see these games come to life. I mean, they've been hitting me generously with good storylines and good games. Online games and storylines important to me.
And Rich, which press conference are you most excited?
Microsoft, but I'd say Ubisoft is right there too.
After today, Ubisoft was it wasn't even expecting, but yeah, I want to see the new Assassin's Creed. I want to see the new crew, see what they improved, and Far Cry 5, because 3 and 4 have always been like incredible graphics, incredible gameplay, great story. But I'm gonna go Microsoft. Is the one I'm most excited because of Scorpio. I am very intrigued of how they're going to sell it. Again, it is a niche, but how they're going to sell it to the hardcore gamers to convince them because it's the same type of game. It's not a new console. Right. It's not exclusive. It's like why Xbox One is $250. Why pay for this $500, $600 product?
Yeah. How's it not just a new SKU?
Exactly.
Double the price.
Double the price just for updated graphics? No. How are they going to sell this? What's their strategy? You're going to see it in this hour and a half press conference. And what games are they going to do to sell? So that's why I'm most excited, because I've the most invested, because I do plan on getting it day one. But am I going to be a fucking dumbass and get day one and not use it for any reason? Or am I going to actually be able to show it off and like, this is fucking 4K and what it should look like?
Netflix, bro.
Exactly.
Netflix in 4K?
No, Bob's Burgers got dropped at the beginning of this month, so... Bye, I'm out.
Bye, Netflix.
No
4K.
Yeah,
Bob's Burger.
Fuck the Defenders. I don't need to see that shit. Mr. Science Theater, I'm out. No Bob's Burgers reruns? Fuck you.
God damn it, Netflix.
It's on Netflix, man.
No, I watch Netflix.
So that is our opening coverage. I'll just move on. That is our opening coverage of E3. Again, we'll have coverage through every week leading up to the show, leading up to our predictions and our reactions. So please let us know in the comments below what are your expectations for this year's E3 and which press conference you're most excited to see. We are at the end of our Gamescast, and this is where we go balls deep. This is where we let you know what games we're going to play all week long. Starting with Mo, with all your games, what games are you going to be playing? Out of the 10, how can you decide which ones?
I'm doing Injustice 2.
Which just was released, Injustice 2.
It's got me pretty addicted right now. Horizon, still chipping away at them, 20 hours in.
You're already 20 hours into Horizon?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right, I've been gone for a few weeks.
Yeah, so... But
how is Horizon so far?
I like it. Storyline is on point. The explanations of the whole atmosphere is just... I don't want to ruin it because it's too good. It's too good.
Hopefully I'll play it this summer.
Yeah, you have to. It's a must-get. As soon as I started in, I was pretty captivated. And the third game for me is I just got my notification for Honor because, I had to get the whole package for DLCs and everything. I'll be playing as a Centurion online. So if anybody's online, I'll see you there. Let's go decapitate people. Fuck them up!
All right, For Honor. There you go. So you're going to be doing For Honor, Horizon, and Injustice 2 with the fight. You have very diverse games right there. You down with Persona 5 after 90 hours?
No, but that one I jump into every once in a while for the slow down pace. Because I can take my time. It's not something I'm like, I got to rush through it. And get tired of online sometimes, so jump into that.
But you just invited people to play with you online and you're tired of them already?
No, I'll give them like 2 or 3 hours of my time.
For Honor, so he can fuck some shit up.
Yes.
And Rich, what games will you be playing?
Injustice 2.
They got Injustice today.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. It's
there
amazing,
it is.
great.
Even the mobile game is good.
Yeah.
I just found out it was mobile. I had no idea. And Rich showed me that it is mobile, and he kicked some ass as Catwoman. Because my Batgirl is Alicia Silverstone. That's my Batgirl.
Why would you even say that?
I don't know. It's now recorded. It is documented. That is my Batgirl.
Oh, we weren't going to forget that. We didn't need proof.
No, it's already...
And Rich, I didn't know you really enjoyed fighting games, but it's just
I can.
this is the cast.
That's DC,
Injustice,
so,
DC.
yeah.
You know what? For Injustice 2, it just feels like a different type of fighting game.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like I need to memorize all these combos just to be, all right at it. I can feel I can put up kind of a fight. I'm not a fighting game enthusiast. I like them, but I just feel like they made it a lot easier. They did great with the game and the voice acting and the storyline and everything. I'm addicted, like I said.
And it's only been out today, and they're already addicted to Injustice 2. And next week we'll get a better feel of what they think of the game. So for myself, I played Mario Kart in Hawaii. So on the plane, again, only lasted 3 hours, so it died. Ran out of power. And then charged it up because I bought a charger, but I didn't have a USB charger to plug into because I need to invest in that for any longer trips. So I can plug it into the plane.
Do you not know this?
What? I'm so confused right now. Is it?
So I bought a charger that you plug into like the wall
AC. Adapter,
AC adapter. But I don't fly very long or very much.
And the charger he bought was not a USB cord that has the AC adapter, just the AC cable.
Do you charge your phone once a day?
Yes.
Okay.
That's fine.
That's
What's wrong with that?
no,
I charge it
nothing.
once
No,
a day.
I'm not saying nothing. I'm good.
But no, it's fine because when I got back to our resort, I was able to charge it and play it on the beach, which was an incredible experience. So Nintendo,
What I look forward to when I'm sitting on a beach. It's
on my honeymoon, playing
Yeah.
Mario Kart.
We look
Oh,
forward
so
to
much
drinking
better.
and
So much better.
So thank you, Nintendo, for giving me an incredible experience. I love you even more with the Switch for letting me play Mario Kart.
You understand that's even one step worse than the people who have to record everything. So they never actually look at the world around them. It's just constantly, oh, look at that. Oh, look how pretty the sky is. Look at that cloud. It looks like a horse. Oh, wow. Like, put it down for a second and go, oh, shit, it's the real world.
that's the problem I have with people that go to concerts and just record the whole concert. And I'm like, you're missing the whole point of the concert. You went
Or
there
they
to
got
see the
fucking-
fucking artist.
No, and they got, like, earbuds in.
Yeah.
And they're just like this.
Yeah.
And then they leave on the way home. They're like, oh, they were really good. Yeah, this is cool. Oh, this fucking traffic. Are we ever going to get out of here? Why'd you come?
Yeah.
Just watch this shit on YouTube, apparently.
Right?
What the
Like, I
fuck?
just...
Live your life.
I enjoyed my Mario Kart.
I'm sure you did.
It passed time. So I'll be
I wouldn't pay
playing
all that money to go to Hawaii just to play Mario Kart.
I know.
on the honeymoon. Good story to tell the kids. How was your honeymoon, Dad? Mario Kart was amazing. Now I went skydiving. Scared the shit. Show him the video. Me shitting my pants.
No, you
Scary.
freaked out more with the jump off the top of the stratosphere.
No, it's just you didn't hear. No, I freaked out when I was about ready to fall out of the plane.
He literally tried to hold himself in with his elbow.
The guy had to try and push me and give me the nudge. No, I fucking lost it. When Sarah went out of the plane, I was by myself. I lost it.
He was doing the UFC elbow. Like,
As he slowly tried to push me out of the plane. Now, so I'll be playing some Mario Kart mixed in because they got Injustice 2 came out.
That's how you should have stayed on the plane. Sorry, because we're the wrestling nerds. The finger. You should have done the Kevin Owens.
finger,
one
yes.
finger.
Give
you
the finger.
You would have defeated the plane. I'm just saying. All right, anyways.
So they got Injustice 2, which was released today. I got a game also that was released, Farpoint VR for the PlayStation. Got my gun. I'm excited to play again. I haven't really new game for VR since Resident Evil, and I've been waiting to play Robinson the Journey. I got that on launch day in November, which you actually go around a planet with dinosaurs. So I'm going to be playing VR a lot for the next few weeks. I'll be playing Farpoint and Robinson the Journey. So I'll be playing that and maybe a little Mass Effect. So I might be a little Mo this week. Mix in 3 games. Who knows how I do it. Then again, I have no wedding
you do
planning.
it on purpose again?
Yeah.
I might do a little mo.
I might do a little Mo.
That's why I laughed.
Yeah. King Kong Mo.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's not Little Mo. King Kong
You've been a
Mo.
mo the entire time I've known you. Sir.
Since I have no wedding planning, I don't have to worry about that, so I get to relax, play some video games this week, and we do have wrestling on Sunday, wrestling pay-per-view, which we'll have our preview up hopefully by...
Which pay-per-view is this one?
It is Backlash.
Okay.
the Backlash, and then 2 weeks after is Extreme Rules.
Oh, I forgot. Because we're all
Fucking
thinking about
shit.
the Great Balls of Fire. Yes, they're going to
Yes.
call a pay-per-view. Great
A
Balls
wrestling
of
pay
Fire.
Great Balls of Fire.
Why?
Yeah.
Exactly. Because you were a big Jerry Lee Lewis fan. That's why.
Oh,
Duh.
yeah.
You're going to buy it now.
course.
It's only $9.99.
$9.99.
Is
Mo.
it like all the opening entrances is Jerry Lee Lewis music?
Yes.
I would assume they're going
Yes.
to buy the rights to the song. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's the games that we will be playing this week. Please let us know in the comments below what games you'll be playing. And again, that is our episode. Thank you for watching and have a wonderful week.